This episode, we're slipping into the dangerous world of Diavolo by T.A. Fan. We're talking mafia tension, knife-to-throat devotion, power plays, and one very irresistible Italian problem. Welcome to Book Size Matters. I'm your host, Angel.
And I'm Edith. And welcome back.
Welcome to November.
Oh my God. It's the end of the year.
Yeah, I know. And the TBR has only grown longer.
Exactly. Too long.
Yeah, it's gotten way too long. I'm like, damn, I was supposed to knock a few off that TBR and it just got bigger.
First of all, you keep on buying books, ma'am.
I know. Dude, and I just started doing audiobooks because I don't know why. I just got like listening, because I used to listen to podcasts while I was at work, and then I caught up on most of mine. So I was like, now I have to wait till next week to get the other one. So then I was like, well, I really like listening to stories.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, why don't I give audiobooks a try? Because I'm pretty, I don't know. I felt kind of weird about like iffy about audiobooks. And I was like, let me just give it a try. If it's anything like true crime, essentially it's the same thing.
Yeah, because you're really into like storytelling.
Yeah. So I was like, it's almost the same thing. So I should be able to kind of like, and so I've been listening to books, and honestly, like, first of all, I already, like, why do I need to fucking pay, like, for books if I'm paying for a membership? Like, that, first of all, that was a turn off.
What?
Yeah, so I got Audible.
Yeah, because you have Audible Unlimited, right?
Well, I don't know if it's unlimited.
Oh,
I have
no,
Kindle.
you have Kindle Unlimited. Sorry.
Yes. With Audible, I don't know that they have like unlimited. They go based off of like a credit or something. Like every month you get like a credit.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
I don't
And
know.
like most of their books, like you have to use a credit in order to listen to it. If not, you have to pay. And I was like, okay, well, I'm already paying for a membership. Well, I got like a discount. It was like $1 for 3 months. And I was like, que me cuesta $1, But I was like, I don't want to have to pay like for me to access a book. So they do have like the free version. It's called like something Audible. I don't know what the fuck it is.
It has commercials, like ads
No.
and stuff? Oh.
It doesn't have commercials, but it's like
What's the difference?
they have ones that like they're like Audible exclusive, I think, or like they're like Audible original is what I don't know what it is. But they do have like free ones. But I was like, this is interesting because like a lot of these books, the ones that are free, they're kind of like, I don't know if they're like indie, smaller authors. I don't know. Or I don't know, because a lot of them are like not books that I've kind of seen, like, or that I've, like all the books that I want to fucking read.
Oh, you got a favorite.
I have to, like all the books on my TBR, I have to pay for it. And I'm like, what the fuck? So then, so I was going through like their free section and like kind of trying to figure out like which ones to, so far it's pretty interesting.
Has it? Have you been liking it?
Yeah, so far I have. I've honestly, like, I've been able to finish like a book a day.
Oh my God, girl. That is crazy.
Well, because I think some of the ones that I'm listening to are like shorter.
Oh, okay.
They're like smaller, I think.
That makes sense.
But not only that, but you can also like do like ×2 speed and stuff if they're talking too slow, or I'll get through it in like 2 days. Also, I have 10-hour shifts. Most of the books are around that. So like if you can
listen to it while you're like doing your work, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I gotta pause it, because if I'm reading an important email, like yo me cuatropeo, and then I'm like, wait, what happened?
Pays attention to the book and pretends to read the email. You know what? I tried and I have to try it again. But the one that I tried, well, I read the book, right? I read the book. And then because I wanted to kind of like remember what things that were going on, I was like, what if I do the audiobook, right? Because I have Spotify Premium. And with Spotify Premium, you get the books for free, whatever. And
wait, I pay for Spotify. Do I can listen to books?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's
You only get a certain amount of hours though. I think you only get like I don't know how many hours a month. I didn't hit it, so I think it's like, I don't know if it's like 15 hours a month or something.
Oh, that's like basically one book.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Audible then.
Oh, okay.
It's like per credit, like each book costs like some kind of credit, and I think you only get 1 credit a month.
Oh,
you can buy credits, but then I'm like, well, then what's the point of paying for a membership?
Yeah.
Because I think regular price for a membership is like $15 a month, and I'm like, why am I gonna pay $15 a month if then I have to go and pay for a book?
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Anyways, you were saying.
Yeah, well, I read this book, right?
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, okay, because I read it a long time ago. Not a long time ago, but I needed to refresh my memory. And I was like, what if I do the audiobook? Bro, tell me why the audiobook, I was not feeling it for the reason that the voice was just not it. Like, you get me? Like, I was just like, this is not how I read this book.
Yeah.
And it was tripping me out and I couldn't do it.
So, actually, I felt the same way. And then
Something you just get over, basically.
Well, just with the book, because I know what book you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I listened to another book, and because so far I think I've only done like 2 books, on audiobook or whatever. And because I just started Thursday, and then obviously I didn't go back to work until today, so 2 books. And the one that I did, it was definitely better.
It was better. Oh,
It was way better. It was a girl. It was a girl, but she sounded younger. Like, she actually sounded like she fit the role of the character.
That's what was tripping me out. That it's just like, in this book, the person seems so, or at least in my head, it was a young narrator. You get me? Like, that voice of a young narrator. And to be like, I mean, nothing against, like, older voices, but it just didn't match what I thought.
Yeah.
Like, I was just not vibing.
And the one that I'm reading, or not reading, but listening to right now, you know what's so cool about this one? What? They actually have a male narrator that says the guy parts, and then they have a female narrator.
Oh, they don't deepen their voice too.
No, because girl, that shit was throwing me. I'm like, you sound so stupid. I mean, the only time they do kind of like do that voice change is if it's from the male's perspective and he's like saying the girl part.
Yeah.
Like, he kind of does soften his voice. And then I think maybe to just kind of distinguish between like who's saying what.
Yeah.
And then the girl will deepen her voice if like it's her point of view, but it's like the guy talking. That's the only time she'll kind of deepen it. But when it's like his point of view, it's like he has his deep voice. Like it's the guy. And I was like, oh my God, I freaking love this. As soon as I heard them, I was like, oh, this is so much better. Okay. Yes.
And maybe I just need to give it another try with a different book.
Yes.
And maybe start it as an audiobook instead of reading the book first, and then refresh myself.
I don't just give it a try because honestly,
I will.
Yeah, the other one.
I will.
Anyways, let's jump into our love notes. Ready?
Ready, spaghetti.
Okay, besties, before we enter the mafia underworld, if you're new here, we love you already, but we do need to warn you. We give you all the spoilers. We're about to recount this book the way your best friend tells you about her situationships, names, dates, crimes, emotional damage, all of it. So if you haven't read Diavolo yet and you care about being surprised, this is your sign to pause and sprint to your Kindle. Okay. Also, check the trigger warnings. We read romance in all flavors, including the spicy, the dark, and the therapist would have concerns variety. So protect your peace, protect your heart, but also welcome to the chaos. Also, guys, I did want to let you guys know that we did already post up the reading for December. So go on. If you guys don't follow us on Instagram, I don't know what you're doing, but go follow us on Instagram at Book Size Matters Podcast. And you'll be able to see, like, we'll give you like a month notice kind of what the next books are going to be looking like. And December is now posted. We are going to be doing, we're going to be switching it up a little bit because, we are doing Christmas vibe. And we're switching it up a little bit because normally we do every other week. But because of the holidays, we are going to be doing December 10th and December 17th. So you will get an episode back to back. And then we're going to have like a couple week break. And then we'll get back to our regular scheduled programming in January. But we are going to be doing, Love Light Farms and Merrymaker. I don't know. I already forgot the names. But go onto our Instagram and make sure to follow us so that you guys can keep up with the reading that we'll be doing so that you kind of know like what we're going to be reviewing. And let us know if you guys have any recommendations. We do have a Google form where you can like submit your recommendation. Let's jump into the dating profile. You ready to get all the details?
Let's go.
Let me give you all the details, okay? All right, so we are reading Diavolo by T.A. Fan. It has 29 chapters and 313 pages. So it's a pretty average sized book. This is part of the Devil's Playground series. So far, there's 2 books out, and it looks like there's going to be 2 more coming out. The first 2 are the same story. So this first book ends in a cliffhanger. It's one of those. It is one of those. And it kind of looks like the other 2 are going to be different characters, so they just might be interconnected because it's part of the same series, but it's different characters. Okay. This one broke my heart, but it is 3rd person point of view. And it entirely follows the female main character's perspective. So I really wish we could have gotten a dual point of view on this one. But yes, the book ends in a cliffhanger. Let me give you some of the tropes that we are going to be talking about. It is a mafia romance with elements such as forced/arranged marriage, obsessive male main character, touch her and die, power control, alpha role male main character. Now, for those of you who don't know what an alpha role is, it is a combination of alpha male main character and a cinnamon roll. Cinnamon roll.
Can you enlighten us?
Yeah.
For those that, don't know all these terms.
So a cinnamon roll is typically a character who is they're like sweet. They're very sweet and primarily to like their love interest. Here, let me look it up because I know what it is, but sometimes it could be confused with the golden retriever. Have you heard of golden retriever characters? Let me tell you. Let's look it up because
cinnamon roll, is it more so like towards the personality or more of how that character acts towards the love interest?
It's more like personality.
Okay, so is it like bubbly, like sweet person, or how we?
It's like here, let me tell you. A cinnamon roll character is a sweet, kind, and supportive protagonist in the book, particularly in the romance novels. These characters often endure hardships but are endearing, and the term has expanded to include characters who are openly emotional and gentle.
Oh, okay. So gentle. Okay.
Yeah.
Supportive.
So a lot of people, I feel like, confuse cinnamon roll with like the golden retriever character, which they are pretty similar. They're pretty similar, but I called him an alpha role because he definitely possesses like that alpha like personality, but then with his love interest, he's also like very sweet. Goes like honestly, like the title says, this man would ruin me, and I would allow it. I would assist.
I wouldn't get in the way.
But he definitely carries like that like alpha characteristic, but also that very sweet side to him. Oh, so it is a combination.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that is why I actually added that one myself because it was not part of the tropes that when I looked it up. There wasn't very many tropes when I looked it up. Okay, let me give you the trigger warnings / the kinks. There's sexual content, graphic violence, drugs and gambling addiction, mentions of sexual abuse and suicide, crime, physical and psychological abuse, forced marriage, light BDSM, dubious consent, toys, death of a parent caused by terminal illness, and murder. I feel like murder is one of those like trigger warnings that a lot of authors don't add. And I'm like, why do you not add that? Yeah. Right? Like you would think like maybe because it's so normalized. I don't know.
That's weird.
I feel like a lot of characters or a lot of authors don't add that one. I feel like I kind of just add that one because I'm like, well, what if it triggers somebody? I don't know. Anyways, this book, I will say, this book, the spice definitely rivaled the plot. They were like rivaling each other because let me tell you, this book, how many chapters did I say?
First of all, it's not even that long.
Yeah, I said 29 chapters, right?
Yeah.
14 chapters.
What the hell?
Yeah, 14
chapters of spice?
Yes. 14 chapters of spice, okay? And those chapters are 3, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 20, 21, 24, 25, and 28. There was a lot of spice. And honestly, I was like, I'm just basically going to be telling you guys porn at this point.
Erotica.
Yeah.
So,
it's not an erotica.
Yeah, but like that's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot of spice.
I mean, I don't mind it, but it definitely, like how you said, rivaled the plot.
Yeah.
I'm interested. Give us all the deets.
I didn't go too into detail with the spice because, well, I'll let you guys know why right now.
Let's see.
But are you ready to jump into Between the Covers?
Yes, let's go.
Okay. It's 2 a.m. and after a long day as a trauma surgeon, Elise's mind felt frayed. Her nerves were shot and exhaustion had taken over. She was dead tired, so who the hell was banging down her door? But actually, she did know who was knocking on her door. The multiple missed calls and text messages on her burner phone confirmed who it was. And sure enough, when she gets to the door, Stefano and Mikey are there. But there's a third guy, slung over their shoulders like a rag doll. Discretion was key to their operation, so who could this third man be? He must be important if they brought him to her. He was barely conscious and had blood staining what looked like a very expensive suit. Who was this man, and why did someone want to kill him? Elise wondered, but she learned a long time ago not to ask too many questions. He was shot in the stomach, and Stefano and Mikey brought him to Elise to work her magic. Elise hesitated. She didn't have the right equipment to tend to the gunshot wound, but as it turns out, her new patient was a key player in Cosa Nostra, the Sicilian mafia.
Oh my God.
With her life on the line, she didn't really have a choice but to do her best to save this man's life. So she got to work, and thankfully, nothing major was hit from what she could tell. He was going to need bed rest for a while and avoid any strenuous activity when suddenly, Stefano received a call and they were called to other matters. Stefano ordered her to watch over her patient and they would return the next day. Elise protested. She couldn't. She had a full-time job with crazy hours and she didn't know this man. She was talking back and Mikey was getting bolder. He smacked her across the face, definitely leaving a mark and knocking her to the ground. She decided to keep her mouth shut and agreed to watch him for the next few days. She could only fantasize about getting her revenge, but for now, she had a debt to pay off. Her father was a gambler and owed people a lot of money. She loved her father, but she also resented him for putting them in such a shitty situation. Her mother took off when she was just a baby and knew nothing about her, so it was just her and her father. Things had gotten a little better when she left her college and med school, but when her father was suddenly hospitalized and in a coma, she was roped back into his mess. While Elise was working on this mysterious man, she hadn't actually paid attention to how beautiful he truly was. He had to be in his early 30s. He had tan, olive skin with dark hair, several tattoos on his body. For a brief moment, when she was working on him, she was captivated by his gaze. It was a moment while he was conscious, and she noticed that he had mismatching eyes. One brown eye and one light blue-gray eye. He stirred awake and expressed his gratitude. She had saved his life. He owed her his life. Quickly, he noticed the mark on her face. It hadn't been there before when she was working on him. She was surprised that he even remembered her face, let alone her name. Elise tried to brush it off because she didn't know if this was a test or if he actually cared. But she chose to play it safe. He knew better, and knew exactly what had happened. He decided to pacify her and play along with her story about it being an accident. She had to call out of work to watch over this man, and her chief of surgery was not happy, to say the least. Since working for Stefano and Mikey, she had blown through her PTO and was on thin ice. But what was she to do? Leave the stranger in her apartment? Well, it didn't go over very well because her impromptu sick days and family emergencies cost her her job. Over several days, Elise realized very quickly that this stranger was a big flirt, and he even started calling her Angelo. Every opportunity he got, he would admire her beauty, make innuendos, and even offered they do something about their attraction towards each other. Elise hadn't said anything or even flirted back. She tried to keep it as professional as possible. So how would he know? How would he know that she was absolutely attracted to him? She tried to deny her attraction for him, and she knew he was Cosa Nostra and had blood on his hands, but all she could think about were his hands on her body. And maybe it was her soft moans in the shower that gave her away, because
this girl
because when she walked out, his arousal was very obvious. Her growing attraction towards him is dangerous. She needed space from him, but when the day actually came, as much as she didn't want to admit it, she was going to really miss having him around. And when they said their goodbye, something about the way he looked at her made her feel like it wasn't a farewell at all, and just maybe they would meet again. Over the next 2 months, things took a drastic turn. She was having a hard time making ends meet. She took a pay cut at a different hospital, but it seemed that Stefano was asking for payment more frequently. Anxiety more than settled in. It moved in, unpacked its bags, and refused to pay rent. It was a hostage takeover. Elise was exhausted and even fantasized about running away and leaving it all behind to start over, somewhere new, but when she would think of her dad, she couldn't do it. He was still in a coma, and she couldn't bring herself to pull the plug. Just as Elise was about to lose hope, she started receiving a slew of phone calls, voicemails, and emails from a stranger named Elias Schmidt. Apparently, he represented a wealthy client who was in need of a private physician. The job opportunity was too good to be true. So after doing some research, it turns out that Mr. Schmidt was actually a highly respected and well-known attorney across Europe. Elise initially dodged all his efforts, but this man was persistent, like his life depended on it. She finally gave in and answered his call. She tried to find any reason to hang up on him and deny his suspicious job offer, but the man was really persuasive. She wasn't given any details on the identity of the client and would have to accept the offer and sign an NDA before she received that information. But her 6-figure income would triple, and she could pay off her dad's debt off faster. She'd also have to relocate to Switzerland, so she'd also be able to get some distance between her and Stefano. Despite some red flags, Elise decided to take the leap of faith and accept the job offer. Elise started to feel hope again, so she packed her bags and left for Switzerland. She was in awe of the beauty of Switzerland had to offer. After the grand tour of her new employer's very grand home, she was unpacking when a knock came from her door. Elise stood paralyzing still and in complete shock, because before her stood her mysterious patient from New York with the brown and light blue gray eyes. Why was he even more beautiful than she remembered him being? Slowly, her anger and annoyance started boiling over. She felt played, and she was not shy about letting Alessandro know just how she felt. She outright asked him if he created this elaborate plan just to fuck her.
Oh, she's bold.
He didn't deny it, but also let her know that he had other reasons why he needed her. Other reasons he would not elaborate on, and if she decided she no longer wanted to work for him, he admitted that he would do whatever he could to convince her not to leave. Elise considered her options, and although she wasn't quite sure how to even begin to process this turn of events, she really did need the money to pay off her father's debts. So she decided to stay, but she needed to set some ground rules. No flirting, no teasing, and no pet names. She was strictly to be his physician and nothing more. And the first order of business was moving out of his room that he apparently put her in to share with him.
Are you fucking serious? This man, this gorgeous, sexy man. Damn
it. He agreed to behave, but she couldn't help but to think he agreed too easily. His agreeableness was suspicious, and she had a feeling this man always got what he wanted. Mm-hmm. Something kept gnawing at her. Why would this man go through all this trouble for her? What was his motive? She was learning very quickly this man was the king of deflection and always answered her questions without really answering. He was a beautiful mystery, and she couldn't help but want to solve it. A couple months went by, and to her surprise, she didn't really see much of him. He was always in his study working or running errands. She quickly ran out of things to do, and she was fantasizing about a future without mafia men and a life of pure freedom when a knock at her door interrupted her daydreaming. The man in question was there to inform her that they would travel to Paris together. He was different. He wasn't his usual playful self, and he actually seemed annoyed. He was annoyed that she seemed to be doing just fine without seeing him over the last couple of months. He was frustrated that had he not gone into her room, she probably would have kept her distance from him and not even tried to do her actual job as his physician. Shit. She couldn't afford to lose this job. During all that time left to her own devices, she figured that if she worked for Alessandro for 2 years, she would be able to pay back every penny her father owed. She needed to give him a reason to want to keep her around. And suddenly, she knew exactly what would want him to keep her around. She was going to use his attraction for her to her advantage.
There we go.
The only catch was she had to not fall for him in the process.
Yeah, I heard that story before.
Things were heating up between them, and she proposed the game. Whoever begged to get fucked first lost. The prize? The loser had to do whatever the other wanted. Elise was confident that his need to control her would allow the game to last a while. 2 years to be exact. But as things had been getting steamy between them, she was starting to slowly lose sight of her goal when she was stressing over a blonde hair that she found in his home. She had to get it together. Even if he did make her feel so good, she had to focus. But Alessandro had other plans. She was taken off guard when he admits he is looking for a wife. And she was the lucky winner. He was fascinated by her. But also, as it turns out, her mother is the daughter of a very influential man in his world, and an alliance through marriage would greatly benefit him. She was bamboozled not once, but twice now. She was playing checkers, meanwhile he was playing chess. Elise was spiraling. What else had he not been honest with her about? She demanded answers, and he admitted the circumstances were not ideal, but he believed that they would be explosive together, and he did not know her true identity until after he left New York. He was intrigued by her before, and he knew who she really was. He was intrigued by her before he knew who she really was, and he insisted that being with him was better than her life before, which is why he ordered Stefano to keep pressuring her. He needed her to be desperate enough to take the job offer that Elias Schmidt had offered her. Elise was in disbelief. Is this why Mikey had been MIA after he left New York? Alessandro would not admit anything except he took care of him for hurting her. She was grateful for that, but still did not know how to process all of this, which seemed to be a reoccurring theme in their new relationship, if she could even call it that. Were they in a relationship now? What was this? And more importantly, how did he know who her mother was? She didn't know a single thing about her. Unfortunately, she was no longer alive. But Alessandro offered to take her to meet her grandfather. She was curious about her grandfather, but there had to be a better solution to this than marriage. Alessandro agreed, but the time was of the essence, and this was faster than anything else. He offered her a deal. If she was a cooperative wife for the next 2 years or so while he handled business, he would give her her freedom and a very generous divorce settlement. Apparently, He already had the date set and the venue.
Oh my gosh.
All of this was too much, too fast. Elise was getting whiplash. Alessandro apologized for the situation he put her in, but pleaded for an opportunity to show her that being married to him would not be the worst thing ever. He promised to treat her like a queen, but getting married wasn't really an option. He would carry her down the aisle, kicking and screaming if he needed to.
Well, he made his mind already. Like, there's something going on.
After arriving in Paris, Alessandro had business to take care of, and even though this man frustrated Elise, she worried for his safety. What was he up to? What if something happened to him? Would she have to run away so that they don't come after her? Was this what her life would become if she married Alessandro? She still thought as if she really had an option. What has her life come to? When he got back, covered in blood, may I add, Elise felt relief. He was alive and well, and she demanded that he give her more answers. If she were to marry him and this would be her new life, she would need to know more. She doesn't do well being blindsided all the time. This was affecting her mental health. She had a momentary lapse in judgment while they were at a charity ball, and she was caught trying to make a run for it by Valentina, Alessandro's stepsister. It was very clear that Valentina did not like Elise. What a great first impression of their soon-to-be in-law. Alessandro was upset. He was hurt that she even tried to run away, but upset because she made them look weak. His father was dying, and he was preparing to take over their empire. Their enemies were looking for a weakness, and it was only a matter of time before Valentina told them. Elise understood what this all meant now, and she told Alessandro that much. She should know more about this world if they intend on this working. She will be able to make better decisions and carry herself differently. In order for their marriage to work, it needs to be a partnership. There was too much of a power imbalance. Alessandro explained that once he brought her into this world, she wouldn't be able to leave. She'd know too much, and he was only trying to protect her. She knew what it meant, and she was choosing to stay with him. She was agreeing to marry him. Alessandro was the happiest man in Paris, and he was going to sweep Elise off her feet. He planned a whole day of showing her Paris, the city of love. She may have already been falling for him, but their day together was too good to be true, and she was reminded of that when he got called for business again. It was almost too easy to forget that he was Cosa Nostra, and he had to stay in Paris a little while longer. She was to fly to Sicily and continue their wedding arrangements. How could she focus on wedding arrangements when he was possibly going to get murdered? He promised to meet her at the altar, and with so much hesitation, she agreed. She was going to be pissed if he got himself killed before their wedding. Elise arrived to Alessandro's family home and familiarized herself with the staff and the area. She couldn't believe where her life came to. She was nervous over Alessandro's safety, but she was trying to hold it together. Meanwhile, her soon-to-be mother-in-law, Alessandro's stepmother, invited her over for a party, where she met Mariposa of the De Leon family and Cara of the Berlusconi family. Both happened to be ex-lovers of Alessandro.
Oh my God.
So it went as well as you think. Not only was Cara still in love with Alessandro, she made sure Elise knew. Mariposa loved drama, and she was not fond of Elise. She felt like she was set up by her mother-in-law, who also shared the girl's sentiment. She was not ready to let go of the power and hand it over to Alessandro and Elise. Cara almost overdosed on cocaine, and Miss Vitale, Carmen, almost let her die. Elise did what she could to save her, even though Cara probably wouldn't have returned the favor. But she made an oath to help people in medical need, and she couldn't just let her die. The whole fiasco created tension between the Vitale clan and the Berlusconi clan. The days were ticking by, and Elise still hadn't heard from Alessandro. She was becoming a cesspool of anxiety. She should have not listened to him and stayed with him in Paris. Melina, Alessandro's lifelong housekeeper and now Elise's confidant, tried to ease her nerves and promised he would be waiting for her at the altar. And he sure was. She was both relieved and pissed off because why couldn't he just call her back or text her, letting her know that he was okay? The wedding came and left, and they finally were married. She was officially Mrs. Vitale, and they were in post-wedding bliss when the De Leon family invited them over to get together. Alessandro felt it was important to show face and try to mend things with the Berlusconis after his mother-in-law Carmen had royally fucked things up. Elise intended to try to smooth things over with Mari and Cara, and she figured they'd be stronger together. And although Mari didn't necessarily like Elise, they reached a level of understanding. Cara, however, well, things took a turn, and the relationship between the Vitale clan and the Berlusconis were severed indefinitely when Cara decided to shoot Elise. She barely nicked her in the arm, but it was a declaration of war. Alessandro was furious, and he was starting to question his ability to be capo and protect Elise. People didn't fear him and thought he was weak. He had his men look into things, and as it turns out, the Berlusconis never wanted to mend things. Carmen and Domenico, Cara's brother, arranged everything, from Cara's overdose to using her love for Alessandro to shoot Elise. Domenico was planning to take Alessandro's crown. Elise tried to reassure him he was very capable, he was a Vitale, and it was his throne by birthright, but he had the mental fortitude and foresight to deserve it. She had completely fallen in love with her husband by this point. She wasn't sure what the future held for them, but she was going to stand by his side and help carry his burdens when she came up with an idea. They were going to put on a little performance, a public show of weakness. Some people already didn't take him seriously, and their performance would draw out more rivals from the woodworks. Alessandro was proud to have a woman like Elise by his side, so they got to work and created a game plan. How Elise's life had completely changed in the matter of a few months. Before, she was a surgeon struggling to pay for her father's debts, and now she was the wife of a mafioso. She secretly learned Italian. She schemed to draw out rivals, and now she was target practicing. She and Mari were building an alliance when Elise got notified that her husband was killed.
I'm sorry, what?
The end.
No, No. Tell me the real end.
That is the ending.
That's it.
Alessandro was killed. Okay, let's jump into pillow talk.
I'm mad.
All right, first impression. What did you think?
I'm mad. How you can just leave? Oh, he was. You can't just leave me like that. He wasn't fucking killed, huh? That's where the cliffhanger is, and then something happened in the book. I refuse to think that this man is dead.
I don't think so, because then there wouldn't be a second book, you know? I mean, I guess, I don't know.
Unless she takes it somewhere else that I don't think.
Yeah.
But damn. Just like that, your husband's dead.
Well, so she was target practicing with Mari, and then so she has a security detail, and basically they were like, hey, we need to talk to you. And then that's when they were like, Alessandro just got killed. And that's how it ends. That's really how it ends. And I didn't actually read the second one, so I can't even tell you guys.
Yeah.
So I really can't tell you guys. I can't even tell you what happens or anything, because I didn't read it.
Oh, damn.
But anyways, first impressions. Any questions?
That was very much interesting. I was waiting for the spice.
I didn't go into spice because it was going to be the whole fucking summary. You
did it really good to the point where I didn't I didn't think about the spice until the end. I was like, wait, Angel said that this was a lot of spice.
Yeah, but I didn't want to because it was just every other fucking chapter was basically spice.
Like them fucking?
Yeah, basically. So the reason why I feel like I didn't really add too much spice is because although there was a lot of spice, I felt like it was mostly vanilla.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I literally was going to ask you. I was going to say...
there was no, weird kinks or anything. It
was just them, having sex,
Yeah, and also, I don't know if you remember, but there was a part where, remember, Elise had kind of told him, oh, let's play a game. Whoever begs for sex first.
Yeah, I was waiting to see who begged for sex first.
Well...
You never told me.
They never like.
Oh, and there never was like explicit
like they. So the game went on, right? So like a lot of these chapters were spicy scenes, but they weren't actually fucking. Like it was a lot of like, you know, like oral. It was a lot of like touching, grabbing, and it was a lot of
but it wasn't
rubbing.
It wasn't like the actual like
penetration.
Yeah, penetration.
No, it was a lot of I don't even think they did anal at any point in this book. Like,
so who folded? Who folded first?
So basically, what happened was that like so I'm about to get real descriptive here, okay? So like there was a lot of scenes where like she would kind of like rub her, you know, basically her pussy on his dick.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of that, like rubbing. Mm. And at one point, I believe might have
a lot of willpower.
Yeah, girl. I was just like, so there was a lot of that. And I was like, God damn. Because she was really trying to keep this game going, you know. Yeah. But obviously she like started falling for him. And then at one point, like it really like it got real intense. And it might have been around the time of their wedding, actually. Oh. Yeah, so they like went a while, like not fucking, but they were like doing hella like other stuff, you know? Yeah. And it might have been around the time of their wedding, I think, or like right before their wedding, something like that. Mm-hmm. But it got real intense because, you know, they were like rubbing each other. And then he basically like said, fuck it. Like he didn't even beg or nothing. Like he just said, fuck it. And like, I think something happened where he fucking slipped in. Mm-hmm. And after that, he said, fuck it. He just basically pounded into her. And she was not stopping the man either.
She's like, I'm already here.
She's like, we're already here. So
so it didn't end
so it's like nobody actually won or lost or anything. Well, technically they did kind of address it a little bit where Alessandro was like, oh, he kind of was like, I kind of bent the rules. Like he kind of cheated, you know, because like even though he didn't like beg for it, like he basically like since he had already
control.
He like slipped in and he was like, well, I'm not fucking going back to how do you go back from that?
Yeah, like, sorry, excuse my dick. Let me go back to rubbing.
Yeah, excuse my dick. Let's go back to rubbing. So, yeah, but I didn't really want to get into the spice because it was a lot of vanilla spice. Like I think the kinkiest it got was at one point he like tied her up a little bit,
but
like,
it wasn't.
But no, like it wasn't.
That's crazy because like just based on how the book looks and the title, I don't know. I expected a very much more of a BDSM vibe.
Yeah, you know? Like very kinky stuff, but no, it was very like vanilla.
There's nothing wrong with vanilla.
No, there's nothing wrong with vanilla. It's just that
not.
It was definitely like, for those of you who haven't read Pumpkin Spice Cafe.
That's gonna be our next book.
That. Okay, we're not gonna get into that, but it was just. And what I mean by vanilla is like it was a lot of like missionary like. The parts were when they actually started like fucking, you know, like it was a lot of missionary or like cowgirl, like maybe a little bit from behind,
but it wasn't a lot very kinky shit. Like,
no,
it wasn't like
and it was descriptive,
out of pocket shit.
Yeah, no, it was not out of pocket shit. Like they for sure, like it was descriptive. Don't get me wrong, like it was descriptive and it was spicy because like it was a lot of fucking, but or not fucking, but you know, like it's just a lot of sexual content, but. It was nothing like super kinky or you know, out of, like you said.
Damn.
Nothing. But that's how I was like, I don't want to keep repeating the same shit, you know?
Like you're going to be like fucking and then this and then fucking and then,
basically.
And then the homegirl over here like shoots at her.
Oh my God, Cara, yes, girl. I was like, that girl was so crazy. Like, let me tell you, because
she seemed crazy, like that fucking crazy ass ex.
She showed up to the party, and first of all, like, she kind of already knew that it was kind of like she was kind of being set up because it was like her mother-in-law, and she knew that the two girls were going to be there. And it was Melina actually the one who warned her and was like, hey, like, just so you know. And like Melina has been around this world for like since Alessandro was a little kid. Oh, so okay. She's very familiar, like she's familiarized herself with a lot of like, you know, that world. Yeah. And so she kind of started that's initially how Melina and Elise got really close, is because Melina was like giving her all the 411 on what she needed to know,
filling her in on everything basically.
Yeah. And so
is that who taught her Italian too?
No, she actually started just learning on her own. Like she started kind of studying on her own because she like was trying to, initially she started learning it because she wanted to know like what he was saying and stuff like on the phone. And because he'd be like doing business calls and stuff in Italian, and she was like, what the fuck is he saying? Or like she was just being like, oh, I want to eavesdrop and know what they're saying.
Nosy.
Yeah. And then she was kind of like, well, I also need to figure out like an escape plan, because she was trying to like, initially she was trying to kind of she was trying to get away from it, you know. So, and it's funny because she never actually revealed, like till the end of the book, she never revealed to Alessandro that she knew Italian. Like you could tell that she was kind of like, even though she was falling for him, she was still kind of like holding herself back a little bit from like like she never, I don't think she ever even told him that she loved him.
Oh.
Yeah, like she was just like, I'm like the furthest it got, I think, was that she told him that I'm yours. I think
she was still very guarded.
She was very guarded, but because there was a part, so when Cara shot her, Alessandro was telling his men like, oh, take Elise to the car, like, because she got nicked, so she did get hurt, you know. He's like, take her to the car. And so then Alessandro kind of faced off with Cara, and she was like, oh my God, my love, like I was forced to, my brother, this and that, right? And he's like, why are you with her? Why are you not with me? And like all this stuff. It turned into like a whole showdown in front of the whole fucking party, first of all. And Elise like and they were talking in Italian, so she was able to, she told the men like, yo bro, stop, like she was trying to listen in on all of this. And so she kind of got like bits and pieces of like what they were saying, because she wasn't fluent in Italian, but she knew enough to, and Italian's very close to Spanish. That's another thing. Elise spoke Spanish.
Oh, okay.
So she was familiar with a lot of the words already, and then whatever she learned herself. And there was a part where like he was like, Cara was like, oh, do you even love her and all this stuff? And he was like, oh, you know, he's like, you know, Cosa Nostra comes before a woman always. And so he was kind of like saying all this stuff, and so she was kind of like, damn, so like, does he not fucking care about me? Like she literally was questioning it, but also like she's like, he did tell me what it was from the very beginning. Like, that it was like kind of it was kind of like a business deal, you know, like the whole marriage thing and everything was kind of a business deal. But he did care for her, is what he had said. But he had up until this point, he had never really explicitly said like, oh, I love you or anything. He hadn't said that either. So both of them have not said I love you to each other. They're married and everything, and still have not said I love you to each other.
Damn.
And so she kind of like, I think in a way she's like guarding her heart, you know, because she's like, I also like don't want to tell him that I love him, and he chooses business. Cosa Nostra over her, you know.
Yeah.
So I think in a way she's trying to like protect herself.
Does she ever meet her grandpa?
She did. He walked her down the aisle, and she said it was like a very weird first time meeting him. He also didn't speak English, and she doesn't really speak Italian, so they didn't say like 2 words to each other. But he walked her down the aisle for her wedding, and then I think it was like the second to last chapter of the book or something like that. Alessandro took her to go meet her grandpa, like officially.
Oh, like, the mom was a big like. Because wasn't it because of the mom? But I know she died. But did she die? Yeah, right?
Yeah, she died. Her mom died, yeah. But they don't really say how or what.
Oh. But the family, her family, the mom's side of the family was really into all that.
Well, the grandpa, yeah, he was like an influential man in like that mafia world. I think they're like the Graviano family or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But I don't really know, like, we don't know too much on like her her lineage.
Like, why they didn't even get in contact with her?
But well, she was a secret child, so...
Oh, because I was like, how does he know about her, but she doesn't know anything about her mom's side and stuff like that?
Basically, because the dad didn't want to tell her much. Like, every time she would ask her dad, the dad didn't really give her details of her mom. So, like, and the mom left when she was a baby. But, like, I think it was a secret child is kind of what I got the impression of, that, like, everybody kind of knew she might have had a kid because she kind of disappeared for a while. And so everybody suspected that she did have a kid, but nobody knew for sure. And so, and that's another, I didn't add that into my, because then again, my summary would have been very long if I gave you all these details. Yeah. But basically, the reason why Alessandro was in New York was because he was actually, he needed a wife, and he needed the business connection to the Graviano family to basically become more influential. And like once he took over because his dad was dying.
Yeah. Okay.
So he was like, oh, he might have a granddaughter, and if I marry her, like I'll be connected to the Graviano family and have what?
So like, okay, so he went to New York with the intention of meeting her.
No, but he didn't know it was her.
Okay, because I was like...
He was following a lead. Like, he was, they all kind of knew that she might exist, but he wasn't there. He didn't know for sure. And so he was like, I'm going to go look for her. And he was following leads or something like that. And, what's it called, when somebody shot him, and it turns out that it was actually Valentina hired somebody to shoot him.
Valentina, his sister?
His stepsister.
A stepsister?
Yeah.
She hired somebody to shoot him?
Yeah, because she wants to basically take over the family
business. My God.
Yeah. She wants to take over the family business. And
she literally just led him to his fucking wife.
Yeah, basically. So it was so weird at one point, when they went to the party, when the party that Elise got shot at, Valentina was the one who opened the door, and she was talking to Alessandro in Italian or whatever. And so Elise could only pick out a few of the words. And, what's it called? Valentina was like, it should be me that's married to you or something like that. Well, it turns out that Carmen's crazy ass, the stepmom, she was trying to make Valentina and Alessandro get married to each other because to basically like keep it in the family. Like, yeah, but they both were like, no, you're crazy. They both shut it down. But then I guess like after Valentina really did want the business, so she was kind of like, it should have been me. And but Valentina doesn't know that Alessandro found out that she was the one that hired, like, so he's kind of keeping it low key, like he's trying to like, play chess. So because he got shot, basically Valentina was the one that led to them taking to Elise. And then he didn't even find out who Elise was until he got back to Europe. Because basically he obviously was like infatuated with her and stuff. And he really did genuinely like, he was attracted to her and stuff. And then he like did some digging, and then he had suspicions that she might be the granddaughter of the fucking Benedetto or Graviano or whatever. And when they did the job, then that whole plan of the job offer came up. So part of the job offer, she had to get like a medical evaluation. And so when they did her physical, they took her DNA. And that's how he confirmed it. That's how he confirmed that she was in fact the daughter she was a Graviano.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. That's how he confirmed. That's what I'm telling you. This man was literally like, it was honestly like, there was times where I'm like, that is super manipulative to do like this whole fucking elaborate plan.
What if she wasn't? Be like, actually, I don't want to do the job offer.
No, I think he would have still like wanted. He really was like into her.
Damn.
But anyways, do you have any more questions?
No. I'm still mad that he's dead.
Oh, Even though he's not really.
He's not really, but still, why you leave me in a cliffhanger?
Yeah. But anyways, so first things first. Third person point of view tried to stop me.
Why?
But because of Alessandro, I was like, okay, I guess I can keep reading.
I'll keep on reading.
Yeah. But that's my biggest complaint with this book is the third person point of view. Because I feel like this book could have been so much better if they did dual point of view from first person. If they did a first person.
You're also a big fan of dual.
I'm a huge fan of dual point of view. But at least like do it from first person. Like I feel like it makes, I don't know, but I feel like when you do third person, you don't feel as connected to the character because you're not really like knowing, like you don't really know what's going on in their head, like exactly, you know? And so, excuse me. I just feel like I would also really like to get into the mind of Alessandro. Like, clearly there's a whole lot going on up there. Yeah. Like,
it's all fucked up family.
Yeah. And so I would really like to know like kind of like his perspective of things. But that's my main thing about this book is that like there was some stuff that I was kind of like the writing of the book, like there was some cringe stuff, dude. Like hold on, I have to read you this one part where I was like, what? Like, why would the author put this in there? Okay, like let me just read you this one part. I literally underlined it and I put ick.
Oh, damn.
It said suddenly it became clear vendettas didn't need to make sense. Elise realized when bitches be crazy. Like, why would you?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that was definitely giving Wattpad. So from what I found out is that this is a Wattpad book. I kind of was, when I was kind of like looking up reviews and shit, people were like, oh, it's a Wattpad book. Like, it's just, you know, like obviously they're more like amateur writers and stuff. But so there was a lot of stuff like that. And another thing too, that like, as much as like, I really liked Alessandro's character, sometimes I feel like the way he talked was way too fucking formal. Like, he talked very eloquently. And, like, even she called him out at one point and was like, why do you talk like that? But it's because apparently when he was a kid, his father sent him away to, like...
boarding school?
Like, a boarding school. So he kind of has, like, a British accent. He has a little bit of a British accent. Yeah. When he speaks English. And so he uses, like, very, like, formal words and stuff. So when he talks, it's kind of like... You're just kind of, like... I don't know. He sounds kind of like, not older, but like, it's definitely like interesting. Because I'm like, who the fuck talks like, does anybody even really talk like that? Yeah. So, but I really did like their banter. They had a lot of banter, which I really like. Like, they're super witty and like, they're back and forth. I fucking live for banter. Yeah. When they have, I feel like it builds their chemistry a lot more and it makes it feel more authentic. But that was one of my things was, like, the way he talked. I was like, why are you talking like that? Like, you sound weird. Let me see what else. Other things that stood out to me. I also really, really liked how she was, like, a strong female character. Yeah. Because a lot of times, I feel like a lot of authors write, like, female characters to be, like, more... dainty? Yeah, more dainty. She was definitely no Sibby, okay? Yeah. Adeline was pretty fucking crazy too. Yeah. But I liked how she was actually very smart. Like, okay, yeah, she did take this fucking job offer, but she was very smart in the sense of, like, she didn't just jump into things. Like, I'm pretty sure, I think she gave her location to somebody, like, when she took, like, before she went to Switzerland. Yeah. Like, she gave her location to people and stuff like that. And she even did her research on, like, who the attorney was. And, like, she was like, oh, he's connected to this person, to that person. And then I think she even contacted, like, an old colleague and was like, hey, like, what can you tell me about this attorney? So she was, like, very smart. And, like, even at one point, like, I think she was trying to, like, play him at his own game, but then like obviously like there's a power imbalance because he knows more about her, you know, than she knows about him. So like obviously like he does have an advantage. A lot of power play there because like he always like it's kind of like he held all the cards. Like she doesn't know, like she does know about him, but like like only what he's willing to share. And he knows like a lot about her because like he's able to do his like research and like he knows about the family and like the lineage and like he will like obviously, and he has money, so like he's able to like look into her and stuff. So I did like though that she wasn't like such a pushover like a lot of other female characters. Like she kind of like stood her ground.
Okay.
So there was that. But let me see. I'm gonna see what else stood out to me. This was definitely not her soul to take with that one. Girl, that one I had hella notes.
You're like, this one? Not really.
Yeah. No, and honestly, it was just a fun read. Like, I really liked, like I said, their banter and stuff like that. I really liked how he was vulnerable a lot of times. He was, like, constantly, like, how do I say, like, wearing his heart on his sleeve and, like, telling her, like, how much he, like, was attracted to her and, like, if there was something that like you could tell that she was like worried, he'd be like, oh, like what can I do to fix it? Like he really much did care about like her happiness and how do I say it? Like he was like constantly trying to like, even though he knows that it wasn't an ideal situation, like he was trying to make up for it constantly.
Oh, okay.
He was constantly trying to make up for like the fact that it was such a shitty position to be in because he wasn't really giving her much of an option. But, like...
None.
Yeah, none. But, like, he was still trying to make up for it.
Okay.
In a lot of ways. Another thing, too, that I didn't really like about the book is... So the main character, Elise, spoke Spanish. Her dad is Mexican. I'm pretty sure the mom is Italian, so she might be Italian and Mexican. We don't we don't really know much about the mom, but she knows Spanish, and throughout the book, I like how she uses Spanish, but it was weird because she would say something in Spanish, and then the author would translate it like right after, and like she'll be like, what are some of the stuff like she would say like mierda or something, right? And then like after say it in English, like shit. Like she would write out shit.
Yeah.
But she only did that to Spanish, not to the Italian part, because there was a lot of Italian. Girl, I was fucking flipping through Google Translate. I was reading and then I'd be like, hold on, I have to go back to Google Translate and fucking translate this shit because I don't know what it means. So I would constantly be taken out of the story to go like look up a lot of the Italian that was in the book, because she wouldn't translate the Italian part, but she was translating the Spanish part. So I was like, what? I wonder why. Like nobody thinks that way. Like even if the character didn't fully know Italian, I get like maybe she wasn't trying to translate the Italian parts because the girl doesn't know Italian, but also like why would you then translate the Spanish parts? Because I don't think something in Spanish and then think it in English.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so true. That was one thing also, like that's one of my critiques about the author's like writing style was that. All right. So I think that's pretty much like what I thought. Like those were kind of like my thoughts about the book. There was another thing too. I feel like sometimes his behavior was very childlike, like especially when he was mad at her. Like he was very like you know, like when a little kid gets mad and like, no, like don't talk to me. Like I feel like he was very much like kind of like that. So I was like, sir, I'm attracted to you. Like stop fucking acting like a child. And but like Lego obviously se le quitaba, and like I think it was just because I think there was a part of, and this is why I would have liked to see things from his perspective. And I think it was because he was so attracted to her, and obviously he really wanted this to work. And I think there was times where he was like, fuck, like I like her this much, and he kind of probably felt like it wasn't really reciprocated.
Oh, okay.
Because he was like from the fucking get-go. Like, this man was hella flirting all the time. And, like, he was very, like, playful with her and stuff like that. And she was kind of, like, initially trying to be, like, more professional. And so, like, I think he was just kind of like, fuck, like, I really like her, and she's, like, not really reciprocating it. Even though, I think she was just trying to fighting her attraction for him.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, other than that, like, I don't really have anything else. Like, it was pretty interesting. Like, honestly, there was times where I was, like, staying up to fucking read this shit because I was, like, I really liked their banter and stuff, and I was really trying to see, like, what the fuck was gonna happen, like, what was going down. But my overall rating for this book, I give it a 4 out of 5, just because there was definitely some sleepless nights fucking reading this book, because I was really, like, I enjoyed it. And I honestly, there was a lot of times where, like, the shit that he would say, I'd be like, ooh, okay. But I did like the book. The spice rating, I was so conflicted with this one, because, like, I want to give it a 3. Okay, as much spice as there was, I want to give it, like, I was stuck between a 3.5 and a 4. And the reason why is because a 4 out of 5 chili pepper, because the plot and the smut really rival each other. Like, there's a lot of smut, but also, like, there's also a lot of plot. So that's why I'm like, okay, 4 out of 5. But also, like, the spice was mostly vanilla.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, I'm kind of stuck between, like, a 3.5 and a 4 for the spice. And that's just based off of, like, you know, our kind of our standards of, like, you know, like, spice level. Yeah. I think to some people this might be like a 5 chili pepper, because there's so much spice, but also, like, it's detailed, but I'm also, like, taking into account, like, the quality of the spice here. Yeah. You know, like, there's still plot, which is why I think it's 4 out of 5, but also, like, the reason why I'm kind of hesitant on giving it the 4 is because the spice was mostly vanilla. But overall rating, I give it a 4 out of 5 because I like. But my final thoughts on this book is that I think it would have been better if it were a first-person dual point of view. And I fucking stand by that. I think it would have given the characters a lot more depth, and I would have been able to connect with them more. But yeah, I think that would have definitely made the book a lot better. Anyways, based off of everything I said, what are your thoughts, Edith? Would you read this book?
Yeah, I actually would.
Except for that cliffhanger.
Except for the fucking cliffhanger. But I think I would. I like the mafia, like, romance, dark romance type thing. I like how he's how you describe them. What's his name, Alessandro? Like an alpha cinnamon bun.
Alpha cinnamon bun. An alpha roll.
An alpha. I really like. I like that. I like that. And then she also seemed like really like an interesting, like, female character. Yeah. It wasn't just like, oh, you know, like, she's there for the fucking type thing. You know, does that make sense? Yeah. So I don't know. It seems like really interesting, the book.
I really do enjoy mafia romances, but I think the reason why I like them so much is because I love the man that's a fucking dick to everybody else except his girl. Like, I really love that, because I'm like, damn, treat everybody else like trash, but treat her like a queen. Yeah. I fucking love that trope. I fucking love it. The, like, he's a fucking dick to everybody except her. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Something about that is just, like, it makes you feel special.
Exactly. But yeah, I think I would definitely read.
Alrighty. So let's jump into some hot takes and heartaches.
So let's jump into this. Let's see what the people got to say about the book. We heard what you got to say, Angel. Yeah. But let's see if the people agree with you. Okay. Okay. So you said you give it overall what was it, 4 stars?
I give it a 4.
Based on Goodreads, people are giving it a 3.52 out of 5 stars. So close enough.
Close, yeah.
Like, it's kind of close. So let's start with the bad reviews. Let's see, like, who did not like it. Like, let's see those 1 stars. Okay. So this one says DNF. So for those who don't know, it's did not finish. 35%. The worst mafia book I've ever read. Elise is a cold, immature bitch, and Alesso is definitely not a mobster. He's her puppy. Damn. What do you think about that, Angel?
I see the cold-hearted. I think that the way she said that Elise was a cold-hearted bitch is because, again, I feel like if the book was in first person, they would have been able to connect with her more.
Oh, and
because it was in third person, obviously, like, you don't really know what's going on in her mind. But like I said, I think she was guarding herself. And I don't know. I also don't like that, like, just because someone is... I don't like that when someone doesn't fucking just, like, fold that easily, like, all of a sudden they're a bitch. I don't like when people think that. Like, oh, she didn't fold, she's a bitch. Like, oh, it's because... Like, because you could tell that he was really, like... You know, she called him her puppy, but that's because, like, I'm telling you, es que era bien cariñoso. He era bien cariñoso, and he was constantly like, oh, like, he's like, I just care about you so much. And like, he would
I love that.
go above and beyond for her. And she was kind of like very much guarded. But also, I think she had every fucking right to be guarded.
Yeah.
Like, this man fucking manipulated the whole fucking situation and like tricked her into going to fucking Switzerland.
Yeah, and now she's gonna get married.
And then he's like, oh, by the way, we're fucking getting married. I already set the date. I already got the venue. Like, I feel like she very much had every fucking reason to be guarded. Yeah. And, like, you know, not fully trust him. Because it's not like he was upfront about a lot of shit. Yeah.
Definitely manipulative. That was interesting. 3-star. Let's go to their 3-star reviews. So the people who, you know, liked it, but it wasn't like their faves. Okay. The story grabbed me from page 1 with the immediate action and a wild twist. About 1/4 and added more depth to the plot. The pace stayed intense yet slow at times, ending with a cliffhanger that left me wanting to read the next book. I know. The banter and the passion between the characters was spicy, though occasionally cringy at times. While the premise is intriguing, there were challenges that kept me from fully connecting with the story. The third-person narration, scattered with Spanish and Italian phrases, created some disconnect, and I would have loved Alessandro's perspective, dual point of view. Did you write this, bitch?
No, but I'm telling
you. Dual point of view would have added so much depth. Overall, Diavolo had its dark, alluring moments without tipping too far into darkness, and both characters are far from doormats. However, the narrative style and language choices made it hard for me to fully immerse myself in the story.
I completely agree with that review. Like I said, the dual point of view, and it just...
People are asking...
And even the language, but also, like... I'm not saying, like, just write books in English, like, 100%. Like, I would love to, you know, like, I've read books that have Russian in it and Finnish or whatever. But also, like, when there's so much that you're constantly being taken out of it, like,
it disconnects.
It disconnects you. But, like, right now I'm reading one. I fucking love this one. The one that I'm reading right now, girl, I cannot get enough of it. But, the main character is Irish. Oh, okay. And so, like, he'll say some terms in, like, Gaelic. But I liked how the author puts a footnote. Oh. She puts a footnote, and because it's a Kindle, I could just click on the little number, and it'll take me to, like, what the translation of it is. Yeah. So I don't have to fucking go to Google Translate and
see what it means.
Yeah. So, shout out to LJ Chen for that. Anyways.
Let's see. So now the 5 stars. So we're talking about the people who love this book, okay? This was honestly one of the best mafia romances I've ever read. I have read this year. I completely fell for Alessandro. He's a morally gray golden retriever who knows exactly how to use his words and read people. The story is full of banter, sizzling tension, and off the charts spice. I love that he falls first and is soft only for her, with the perfect mix of it will only ever be you and touch touch her and die energy. The heroine, did I say that right?
Yeah, the heroine.
Gives off strong femdom vibes and isn't afraid of a challenge, while he's just a little submissive in the best way. Overall, I adored the book and can't recommend it enough.
And that's another thing I did like about the book too, is like there's even a point where like he does want to like he's not submissive, but like there's a part of him that does kind of crave the like not having to constantly be in control.
Because his whole life is being in control.
Yeah, his whole life is being in control. So there was like this one moment where like she's like, oh, like, do I need to punish you? And he's like, yes.
Oh, you should get spicy. But yeah, we heard from the people. So that was, it's a little bit of everywhere, honestly. Yeah. Like, people loved it, people hated it, people had literally the same opinion that Angel had.
I know.
I'm still questioning if that was Angel or not.
Was that Angel?
Let me find out. Angel put on Goodreads and put her review, and then
that would have been funny. No, but I'm telling you, I feel like, see, if I'm thinking, there has to be other people that feel the same way, you know, like,
especially like for like avid romance readers, you know. Yeah. Like, so.
And I feel like there's a lot of like avid romance readers who honestly prefer first person dual point of view. Like, it's just, it connects you to the character on such a different level. Yeah. And I just fucking hate that like the last 3 books I've read were third person point of view. It's just hard for me to connect really with the characters like that. But anyways, let's jump into Kiss and Tell, because let me tell you, I have read quite a few mafia romances. So let me I have 4 for you guys, okay? So if you liked Diavolo, you will like these. The Kiss Thief by L.J. Chen, Shattered Vows by Shane Rose, The Sweetest Oblivion by Danielle Laurie, and King of Wrath by Anna Huang. So those are my 4 recommendations. If you liked this book, I think you'll like those. And honestly, I think you'll like those a lot more because they are in first person dual point of view.
Get to connect a little bit better.
Yeah. So there you have it, everybody. This was Diavolo by T.A. Fan. Let me give you some foreshadowing on what's to come next. And just to give you guys a little sneak peek, Edith will actually be giving you the summary on this one.
Oh my goodness.
So we are putting the guns down and picking the lattes up. Next up on Book Size Matters is Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore. We are talking small town charm, cozy fall vibes, a grumpy sunshine pairing, and a romance that smells like cinnamon and bad decisions in a cute sweater. But the real question is, will the male main character be just as interesting as the dangerous Italian man who owned us this week? I guess we'll find out together. You might want to grab a scarf because we're going wholesome-ish. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Make sure if you're watching us on YouTube, well, you already said like, comment, subscribe. And if you're hearing us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, make sure to leave a 5-star review. It helps us out a lot.
It is like foreplay for the algorithm.
Exactly. So, thank you so much for that amazing summary, Angel.
Oh, thank you. Also, if you guys have any book recommendations, there is a Google form down below in our description.
Yes.
Or you can go to the link in our bio and you guys can let us know what you guys want us to read or review. Also, if you've read some of these books that we've
done, like that we're gonna read, because that's a good thing that if you follow us on the social media, you know, on our social media, it's going to be linked down below if you're watching YouTube. And also if you're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, it should also be linked in the description. We give you like also the books that we're going to read besides just the foreshadowing. You get me? So if you guys have read those books, we want to hear what you guys have to say about these books. So the link is also going to be down below.
Exactly. This is it for this week's trip through luxury, lust, and a man who made crime look way too attractive. Thank you for joining us on Book Size Matters, where the spice is strong, the morals are weak, and the loyalty lies firmly with the wrong men. Until next time, keep reading, keep judging, and maybe keep your moral compass on standby.
Bye, guys.
Bye.